This is Between the Uprights.
Football is life. The rest is just details.
Here are your hosts, Joe, Matt, and Chris.
There's a little nostalgia in New England right now. And it's not the winter weather. It's not the snow falling or the cold breeze coming off the Atlantic. Josh McDaniels is the OC again, people. It has been rumored. It has been talked about, and now it is expected to happen. Josh McDaniels is going to be the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. And I know Patriots fans are split because we were split when he left. Everyone's always said that Josh McDaniels was only ever good because of Tom Brady. And then Josh McDaniels was bad as a head coach because he didn't have Tom Brady. And then he comes back to the Patriots and he's just as good, right? So the thing you have to remember about this is what I'm about to tell you, okay, is that Josh McDaniels, for all the flack we give him, he is very, very good at doing two things: developing quarterbacks and teaching them an offensive system to succeed. When Mac Jones was the quarterback of the Patriots, a lot of people criticized Josh McDaniels for not opening up the offense. Come to find out, Josh McDaniels' offensive scheme was maximizing Mac Jones' skill set, because Mac Jones almost threw for 4,000 yards, and they made a playoff appearance with Mac Jones. Upon Josh McDaniels' departure, and some of the people can say, oh, it was Matt Patricia that ruined him, it was Bill Belichick that ruined him, Mac Jones has not thrown for over 3,000 yards since. 3,800, 29 the next year, 2,900 the next year, okay? That tells you that Josh McDaniels understands his personnel and how to maximize them in his scheme, because he saw what he had in Mac Jones. He knew Mac Jones relied on anticipatory throws, so he needed to get his guy open passing lanes that were short in field and quick, so he could get, because he, as we saw, the longer you let Mac Jones sit in the pocket, the worse his decisions get. And it's 100% true. So all those people who hated Josh McDaniels for not opening the playbook for Mac Jones, turns out he did exactly what Mac Jones needed. 3,900 yards, Pro Bowl, and they made a playoff appearance. Lost to the Bills 17-47, which obviously started to show the Patriot way coming apart because the talent wasn't there. It was clear to see that the things that they were able to do previously, because they had an otherworldly talent at quarterback, were gone from the rest of the offense's capability. And when you meet a good defense, like the Bills had in 2021, that's the result. And outside of a weather-induced victory over the Bills in Buffalo, there really wasn't anything the Patriots were ever going to be able to do against them. And we saw that as they started to stumble down the stretch, because people started to figure out Mac Jones, figure out the offense, and Josh McDaniels, I believe, was handcuffed by the talent of his quarterback. Now, people say, oh, Josh McDaniels is only good by Tom Brady. Let me read you off some statistics. So Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator from 2012 to 2021 in New England. Tom Brady did not throw for under 4,000 yards during that time frame. The only time he did was 2016. He played 12 games. On those 12 games, he had 3,554 yards.
28 touchdowns, 2 picks that year too, by the way.
Yeah.
He almost won MVP, didn't play a quarter of the season that year.
Yeah. Yeah. Granted, that was due to suspension. But he played 12 games through almost 3,600 yards, 28 TDs, 2 INTs. In fact, during that tenure, Tom Brady only had 2 seasons where he threw 10 or more picks, 11 in 2013 and 11 in 2018. All right. That is insane. His worst year passing in that span was 2019 when they lost to the Titans. His last year there, he only threw for 4,000 yards, 4,057 yards and a 60.8 completion percentage. Every other season, absolutely fantastic. Now, granted, Tom Brady is great. And we saw that when he went to Tampa Bay with the talent that they had in Tampa. When you have 2 potentially wide receiver ones in an offense and Rob Gronkowski, yeah, it's a pretty good chance he's going to do well. And don't forget Leonard Fournette, okay?
And Antonio Brown.
And Antonio Brown, yeah. So forgot about that one. So you have to understand that Josh McDaniels did have Tom Brady, But it's the same thing with the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick discussion. Don't you think, Matt? Oh, Belichick's only good because of Tom Brady. Brady had Bill Belichick. Josh McDaniels is a good offensive coordinator. I'm not going to say great. He's good. And he gets out of his quarterbacks what you expect. And sometimes even more. But I've rambled long enough. I've said my piece. Let's go to someone who's on the other side of the fence here a little bit, who's not as excited as I am to have Josh McDaniels back patrolling the sideline at Foxborough with a play call sheet and a headset. We're going to go to Matt, the opposite side of this coin. So, Matt, how do you feel having Josh McDaniels back in New England?
Well, I'm going to disappoint the people right away. You set me up for disappointment right away because I'm not like totally on the opposite side. Like I said it in the chat, I'm not mad that Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator of the Patriots right now. I'm really not. It's just my issue with it is it just feels like old Patriots bullshit to me. It's just like we got to go back to the good old days when the Patriots were the Patriots and we had the greatest quarterback of all time and the greatest coach of all time. And it's like we're not that anymore. We're just not, and sure enough, we hire a player who was, one of the main cogs in our first stint of our dynasty as our head coach. And then our offensive coordinator was the offensive coordinator for our second stint as the dynasty of the Patriots dynasty, So it's like it just seems like we're going back and like trying to be the old Patriots, and we're not going to be the old Patriots. Like nobody besides maybe the Chiefs right now is the old Patriots because they're dominating like how the Patriots used to, but it's going to be so hard to recreate that. So to me, it just kind of feels like some kind of just overly trying to be the old Patriots. And you kind of hear some of the stories too about McDaniels as a head coach. Those players did not like Josh McDaniels when he was head coach. Granted, being head coach is a lot different than being the offensive coordinator, but still, like, coaching is coaching, So if they don't like you as a head coach, that's not a great sign as like continually, being a guy that the players want to play for as far as the offensive coordinator goes. But to your point, Joe, he's had a ton of success as offensive coordinator. And again, I can't refute any of the Mac Jones points because, like you mentioned, like how are you supposed to open up an offense with Mac Jones? Like Mac Jones, like 90% of your playbook closes when Mac Jones is your quarterback. Like they're like you can't do so many of the things that you want to do when Mac Jones is your quarterback, and he somehow helped a Mac Jones offense get to the playoffs and Mac Jones be in rookie of the year talks and Mac Jones make a Pro Bowl like that. Like that's crazy. That's an insane accomplishment from Josh McDaniels. And sure, it went bad when he was the head coach for Oakland and it went bad when he was the head coach for the Broncos. But again, we've seen what he can do as an offensive coordinator. And by the way, who was the offensive coordinator on the 2007 Patriots? Maybe the greatest offense of all time. That's right. Josh McDaniels was the offensive coordinator for that team as well. So we've seen Josh McDaniels be the offensive coordinator on some of the greatest Patriots teams ever. And again, do we expect Drake May to be Tom Brady? No, maybe some Patriots fans do. I don't. I expect Drake May to be great, to be really good, but not Tom Brady because Tom Brady's the greatest player of all time. But what Josh McDaniels can do with a player of Drake May's skill set, where Drake May, we watched it last year, he can do whatever he wants to do on the field, really. He can throw it deep, he can throw it short, he can run around, he can do whatever the hell he wants. He can throw from a bunch of different arm angles. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So, again, you give him some structure, right? Last year, he had no structure. He had a head coach who was going into post-game interviews, blaming everybody else besides himself and saying things that he had to take back the next day. And he had an inexperienced offensive coordinator in Alex Van Pelt. Now you bring in someone who brings in a ton of structure and Mike Vrabel, and you bring in someone who's been in every single possible situation an offensive coordinator can be in Josh McDaniels. And again, another benefit of Josh McDaniels being there is, I coach Tom Brady, dude. Like this is what Brady used to do in these situations. Like Tom, like when it was, second and 7 and they were in cover 2, like Brady was always looking for this on this type of, in this route, in this formation, like just giving him everything, like every little detail that Tom Brady had is going to be super beneficial to Drake May and his development. So again, I'm not mad at it. There's a lot of positives of Josh McDaniels being the offensive coordinator. And again, if we didn't hire Josh McDaniels, I don't know who we would have hired. Like, are we going into college to get an offensive coordinator from college? Are we staying in-house to hire, in-house to get an offensive coordinator? Are we getting somebody else's, quality control, passing game coordinator from some other NFL team? I don't know where else we would have gone if it wasn't Josh McDaniels. So again, I don't hate it. I'm not going to be out here being like, oh, Josh McDaniels sucks, blah, blah, blah. Because like you said, he is a proven offensive coordinator. It just feels like to me, again, Robert Kraft was talking about, we want a new version of the Patriots, and now we're kind of just going back to old Patriots that we used to have, So that's my only real beef with it. I don't doubt Josh McDaniels is going to be positive for Drake May. It's just I don't know about this old Patriots bullshit that we're going to try to get into. It's just a little bit weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, so we have already seen that Robert Kraft has that penchant for hiring like people he knows, people he's worked with. People say it all the time. That's what he does. He just brings in people he knows. That's why Mike Vrabel was a candidate. That's why like everyone outside of the Bill Belichick hire early on was essentially someone he's worked with previously. I mean, they brought back Josh McDaniels 3 times in his career. So I mean, 4 now maybe. So I mean, like, don't do that. And to be fair, Josh McDaniels did take Tim Tebow in the Broncos to a playoff game and beat the Steelers in overtime. So
won it. Yeah.
Like it wasn't all
That's
bad
crazy.
in Denver the whole time, right? Like I'm just saying, like Tim Tebow didn't play another snap realistically at quarterback outside of that one season. So 2 of like the worst quarterbacks we've ever seen realistically who did like one and done seasons. Josh McDaniels took him to the fucking playoffs, all right? Like,
Crazy.
so let's go ahead and pump the brakes. But, there's still rumors that Alex Van Pelt may still be on the roster. He may take a lesser role outside the offensive coordinator thing. I don't think he would take a demotion.
That feels weird to me.
So it does feel weird. And there's not a lot of other news that's going on. We're not sure. There's rumors that some people are staying, some people are going. The coaching staff is still very much in flux. But, hey, Patriots fans, like him or hate him, Josh McDaniels is your OC, baby.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.